Hi there. Here's another question. What should I do if I'm not happy with my upbringing? What should I do if I'm not happy with my upbringing? What should I do if I'm not happy with my upbringing? Well, the thing is this. It's happened. You can't change that. You can't change the parents that brought you up. You can't change the things that have happened, the traumas that may have unfolded. You can't change the siblings that came with you. You can't change them. However, what you can do is transform the meaning that you have given your parents, those events, and your upbringing. Because there is not a fixed way that it was. Have you noticed that if you look at your past when you're happy and confident, you see it one way, and when you look at your past when you're feeling depressed or down, you see it another? And there may have been, let's say you had a sibling who shared that past with you. They do not see it the same way as you did. Because the truth about it, and it's profound truth, is that there isn't actually a way that it was. How you got it was given by who you were being that it was. How you get it now is given by who you're being that it is. The narrative that you've created about it. There's what happened and what you made of it. There's what happened and the narrative that you have created about it. The narrative is the only thing that's present with you now. Those events have gone, they've passed. And the memory, you could say, well, no, they're there in memory, I can remember them. And memory's not very reliable. Many times, as you get older, certainly, you're remembering. You're not even remembering directly. You're remembering. And as you get them further away, your memory becomes less trustworthy. And it starts to remember things in a theme of what you've already decided you want it to be. So if you're not happy with your upbringing, look at who you're being that it was and transform it. Now, for example, I'll give you an example of how people sometimes are. Oh, my upbringing, my parents, this is what I had. I blame my mother. I blamed the way my mother was with me for the way I turned out. And I did that for a long time, and I got very angry with her about it. And I used to shout at her about it. And then I suddenly realized that she was doing the best she could. And that it was all my choices that made me how I am today. And that the payoff in blaming her is that I didn't have to take responsibility. On seeing this, I was able to transform who I was being that my upbringing was. And I was able to then go and tell my mother that I'd realized this. And our love was then restored. This can happen. So it's not a fixed thing. Who you're being that your past was is what causes you the suffering it causes you now. And that you can change. There is no way that it was. There's only how you interpreted it. And the interpretation you can transform. You can see things perhaps more compassionately. As your understanding grows, you can understand why people behave the way that they did. You can discern more carefully. You see, when my parents got divorced, for example, I took that very personally as a 7-year-old. I thought it was about me. It wasn't anything to do with me. But I thought what I got from that was that they can't love me, there must be something wrong with me. And that created a deep patterning in me that drove me unconsciously for many years until I was able to break free from it by seeing it. So it can all be resolved. This is the wonderful thing. You can resolve it all. You can transform it, and you can accept it. However it was, I accept that. And there's a great power in accepting things. Allowing them to be when you allow the past to be what it was, it will show you something new. And give you what you need to be able to transform who you're being that it is, such that it turns up for you now differently. So it's not, you can't rewrite the events. It's happened. But the meaning that you gave your past, that you can transform. So let's just check the question again. What should I do if I'm not happy with my upbringing? Transform who you're being that it is. Transform who you're being that it is, because it's who you're being that it is that gives you how you get it. There was no way that it was. It was all perspective based. The meanings you gave it and the meanings that you've been hanging on to it, they're not fixed. They don't emanate from that past. They emanate from your head. You can choose to forgive people. You can choose to take responsibility. You can choose to take the position that you are at cause in your life and that you are not a victim. These are choices you can make. These are things that you can do to transform your relationship with your upbringing. You can choose not to blame people. You can choose to accept. You can choose to let it go. How wonderful that is. You can choose to let it go. And as you do, your capacity to be here now will increase. As you pull yourself out of the there and then, your access to the here and now becomes complete. And here and now, you're fully present. And there's no evidence of the past. There's no evidence of any wounding. When you are right here, where you truly, really are, no wound can be found. Is that true? In what context is that true? When you are truly here, fully here, you'll find that there's no wound to fix. There's nothing to heal. You're complete, you're whole, always in this now. How wonderful.